All right, done. All right, recording this a little bit earlier because invites to go out are coming in, so I figured get it done nice and early, post it, and that way it's up and out there. Humidity dropped, nice and quiet, slow and 20, and animations continue because if you don't, you'll have to update your resume. Folks, it's Friday, August 5th. 2022. I'm Steven Sersky. Hope you guys are doing well. And yes, this is my daily audio digest. Although I've been thinking about doing a name change to better reflect a bit more of my life here in Beijing. I don't know. I know Steven Sersky Audio Blog is such a bland name only because it needed a name and I really didn't know what else to call it. And any other name I came up with sort of just seemed kind of lame. So I left it as is. Beijing Expat Daily? No, because it's not just about Beijing. Expat Daily? Would that be okay? But then that sort of implies a lot more about travel and stuff like that. And this is not so much a travel podcast, so much as it's, my audio daily yik yak stuff. I'll leave it as is for now. I think, I don't know. I mean, because it is based around me. I do talk some things about being an expat from now and then, every now and then. But so the thought did come across. If you have any good ideas, let me know and be interested. Or if you have any other podcast suggestions for if you know anybody else is doing something similar or has a good name, point it out, and I'd be interested in taking a look at that. But yes, today, end of the week, finally, and I am not working tomorrow, so fantastic. This is the end of my work week, finally. I mistakenly made myself available last Saturday, and that just, it only gave me one day off on a Sunday, and so it's not enough time. I need 2 days to sort of get some other things done, and already tomorrow, I know that as soon as I get up, I got a bunch of things I gotta get done, like all day tomorrow, basically, is going to be busy. Tomorrow is an off day for my workouts, which means I can go for a cycle, a bike ride. And I was thinking of actually doing the entire Third Ring Road. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I've meant to do it. And I think summer would be a good time to do it because it's warm in the morning and it's light. So if I got the time lapse and everything, it'd be kind of neat. But not only that, now that I do get up a little bit earlier, if I just got going, like I was mentioning about, I want to get up on the first snooze or the second snooze button of my alarm. If I got going at 20 after 6 in the morning, I could be back by 8 o'clock, if not sooner. So it only takes about an hour and a half or 90 minutes to take to do the whole Third Ring Road, which I live right nearby. I can do the Fourth Ring Road, but that's far. That'd take that would be 3 hours. Third Ring Road would be, I think it's an hour and a half. Maybe it's 2. Good question. The second Ring Road would be about an hour or so. So that's not so bad. But yeah, I'd like to do that. The only other bike ride I'd like to do at some point is through the Hutongs. That's something I've done in bits and pieces, but I've never actually just taken the day and done it. So it's another plan that I have sometime, hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so. But that being the case, so end of the week, it's great. So tomorrow, if I get the bike ride in, I can get to work on some of the other things already. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'll get to some of my Chinese studies, but given all the other projects that I have going on right now, I haven't finished episode number 31. I've compiled it. Now I just got to mix it just a little bit more just to make sure it sounds okay. And then I'll probably release that next week so you can keep in touch, keep in tune for that. So that will be next week, but I want to get it printed or sort of finalized, bounced tomorrow, basically. So then all these animations I've been working on, I want to finalize them, polish them up a little bit, and then publish those as well. So it's going to be a busy day. And then also for my language vlog, I was thinking I have a couple of ideas I want to do for, I guess you call it content generation, but the idea of trying to do it every single day, making time and then posting and everything, I was thinking, you know what, it'd be better if I recorded a bunch of stuff. And this would be different from the shorts videos that I'm creating every day. I don't think I posted anything today because I got sidetracked doing a whole bunch of other things during the day, during my breaks. But I was thinking because one of my former students asked me about ancient Greece and stuff like that, and so I made an introductory sort of video about it, and I thought, well, something like that, it'd be actually kind of good to sit down and just record 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then cut it up into 2 minute segments, and then post those either throughout the week or just on Monday, and that way it's all there. And that way I also push myself to do a bit more editing and stuff like that. It's not I'm not so rushed during the week, basically. So I think that might be a good idea. And that's another reason why I sort of want to give myself Saturdays off, is so that I can work on some of these things, do that sort of batch capture, and then post throughout the week, or at least just on Monday, and then have that sort of checkbox and see how things turn out over the week. And then any other ideas that I have that I can start scripting at that point, basically, right? So, so that's going to be tomorrow's goals. We'll see if it actually happens. Nice and quiet today. Yeah, it was beautiful because I don't know what happened. I hope nothing horrible, but to be fair, I wouldn't be sad if they stopped. But the generator wasn't on today, and so I had the windows open, and it was just, we had blue skies, no generator on, and throughout the day the humidity dropped. It was fantastic. This probably was a very good day overall. I can't think of another nice day like this in a very long time, or at least in recent memory. I shouldn't say a long time, because the summer is nice and I do like the heat. But yeah, the humidity. It finally dropped down to what is it? It's sitting at 60% in my apartment right now, and that's down from 77, 80 at one point. 74 was what it was all day yesterday. So very happy to have it a bit cooler. So it was just a pleasant day altogether, I'll tell you. And especially without that generator, I was kind of expecting it always to turn on. The last couple of days, it's been turning on at 10, but today it didn't turn on at all. So I don't know what happened. I wasn't going to ask too many questions. I kind of liked the way it was, but I didn't hear any kids outside. So I imagine that the school was closed today. I don't know why on a Friday they're closed. It might be like the 2-week summer vacation for the company itself, or maybe 1 week. I'm not sure. 10 days, however many they get. But it was nice and quiet. More folks are leaving. Colleagues are out the door, but staying in Beijing. So again, this has me going, wow. What is there that much of a shuffle with the schooling? Because some of them are going back to teaching, and it's one of these things where you kind of go fascinating, because a lot of people get into the language consultancy business because they kind of are tired of teaching a little bit. And instead, now we see a bit more of a return to teaching, not just because of it's a little bit more lively, but also it's paying more at this point too, especially here in China, because if you are in country and they don't have to bring you over, and all they have to do is like swap out your visa sort of thing, or your work permit, or whatever it is that they got to do. It's a lot easier if you're in the country than if you're a promissory email from some guy or girl overseas, right? So it's again, for the expats that are staying behind in China, the ones who are still here, it seems like it's your pick for employment at the point. We'll give it another 6 months. We'll see what the sort of the winter comes up with. I don't really have any plans to go anywhere else or anything like that. I kind of like my little nook that I'm in right now, my little niche, given that all my other projects are sort of continuing on, and I can see throughout the next year what else I could get done if I just don't fiddle too much, right? So that's sort of what I'm looking at. Slow and 20 workout. This is one of these things that excuse me, I didn't get my run in yet. I had to take care of some. The girlfriend came over and she wanted to print some things, and of course, what should have been a 5-minute job turned out to be an hour of like, why the fuck is this thing not fucking working? The ink runs out, and then when you refill the ink, then it's printing streaks, and you try to do the printer cleaning, and then it's like, well, if you're still getting streaks, you got to do a deep cleaning. So you try to do a deep cleaning, and it says error 5008. I'm like, the fuck? So finally, we got all but one page printed. And I was just like, oh, come on, just print the bloody thing. So yeah, so it was a bit of a fun love, wasting a lot of my paper and the ink. But it had to be done anyway. The ink had to be refilled. I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't want it to happen now. one happened later. It might have been because I ran the ink so low that maybe I busted something, but I don't think so. It was printing decently every now and then. It just wasn't consistently good. So whatever it was, anyway, didn't get the run in. But that's a trade-off because I will be cycling out very soon to join the compadres. But I did do a slow and 20 workout, and so the slow and 20 or 20 slow, whatever you want to call it. I'd basically get a kettlebell. I did it with a 20 kilogram kettlebell today, and I basically go through a normal sort of routine that I do. But I go a lot slower. I only do one set of each, but I do it like half, very slow. Yeah, probably half speed, and then that way, when I'm doing it, like you feel it. Like after 20 minutes of doing, it was at 6 different sets or something like that. I mean, you're not moving, your arms are feeling it, sort of thing. It wasn't as complete a body workout as it would have normally been had I done my normal Friday afternoon workout, but at least it's done. 20 minutes these are one of these things, it's one of these workouts I like to do when I'm pinched for time. I used to do the same thing when we traveled quite a bit. And one of the things I tried to do when we got to the hotel right away is I'd get to the hotel room, I'd change, and then I get down to the gym before it closed, typically, and I would do a 20-minute walk, so a speed walk sort of thing. I never used to run back then, but I did 20 minutes speed walking, and that was good enough, just to help get the resettling nerves out when I was on the road. Nowadays, we don't have that. So, and I've found actually, since I've started running twice a day and doing these workouts twice a day, I'm not going for my evening walk anymore. It's just if I lay down after 9 o'clock, it's hit or miss whether or not I'm still awake in an hour's time, sort of thing. But yeah, I used to do evening walks all the time. Now I don't. But yet I'm still sort of burning more calories than I used to when I was doing 3 walks a day. So yeah, slow and 20. I find you can do these with lighter weights as well and focus more on technique. That's also good. I also do these types of workouts if I'm going to change something, like I'm going to make a tweak to my workout routine. So, for example, if I'm doing a single kettlebell Turkish get up, and I introduce a second one, then I will step down on the weight, but then so I'll add 2 kettlebells using lighter weights, and I'll try it slowly going through those motions instead, rather than trying to force through on a full speed sort of Turkish get up. Not that Turkish get up should be done very fast anyway, but it's good. 20 minutes, you get it done, and then you can go have your fun, right? This whole idea. So at the beginning of this episode, I mentioned, because if you don't, you'll have to update your resume. So this is actually something I've printed out on a piece of paper, and I framed it, of all things. And it's one of these quotes. I came up with it on my own. The idea was, it's a motivation, it's sort of inspiration for myself to get up and get going on some of the things that I talk about. No doubt that if you have the same group of friends as you've had for quite a while, they might even start asking or questioning, so when are you going to do this already? When are you going to do this? And this happened before I started traveling as well. Steve, you're talking about traveling, you're talking about doing all this, but like you haven't. So like, WTF? When are you actually going to get it done? And one of the motivations I realized, or I found over the years, not before I started traveling, but over the years, is that because if I don't do some of these things now, the idea is that if I do it, it could lead to, my own sort of business, my own sort of income stream, which would then allow me to not update my resume, which means I'm not applying for jobs. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a job. It's not a bad thing. And I'll tell you, even as an expat, especially in the ESL industry, one shift of thinking that you could use if you want to sort of shmimey your way out of being an employee is to say that your current employer is your biggest client. I've talked about this before because there are some entrepreneurs like Gary Vaynerchuk's like this. Tim Ferriss is also, he mentions this, that if you're working for someone else, the employees, the benefits and stuff like that, it's easy to criticize the employer, it's easy to criticize the company. Even JP Getty, like this book that I read, How to Get Rich or How to Be Rich, one of these things where if you're an employee, you sort of expect the employer or the company to take care of you, to take care of everything. And if it doesn't go the way it should, then you, as an employee, just throw up your hands. I don't know, not my job. My job is to do this, and it's not working, so I can't do anything, right? Which is all fair and good. I'm not going to lie. I mean, let's face it. If I was, I've worked for quite a few employers all over the world, and I'll tell you, even the farmers are the same way. It's actually probably the one thing that sort of I'm reminded of so much is like, the tool that you gave me doesn't work to do the job that you hired me to do. What else am I supposed to do? And this is actually even more pronounced in the farming world, because like literally if the tractor breaks down, hopefully you have a cell phone or a walkie-talkie or something that you can radio someone. Because sometimes like it breaks down and you're just like, I can't do anything and I don't know how to fix this. Like if you're an operator, a tractor operator, I mean, you're not expected to know how to fix everything, because there are some things that you won't be able to fix: engines, welding, things like that. I mean, you maybe basic maintenance, of course, and it's great if you do have some mechanical abilities, because then you can you're worth that much more. But in all, it's not always going to be the case where you know what's wrong, especially if you aren't familiar with the employer and their tools. Like if you don't know how the tool's supposed to work, that can lead to a situation where you're like, I don't know how to fix this because I don't know this tool, right? So specifically like a tractor, especially, it's like, I don't know, does it always do this, or is it, does it do this every now and then? Like, is this something I'm supposed to be aware of, right? So, because if you don't, you'll have to update your resume. Is my motivation, my inspiration to keep on pushing through with a lot of these projects that I put upon myself to do. And my current project right now is August Animation, in which I'm focusing on animating stuff. I did cell by cell animation today. Tomorrow, again, one of the big things I want to hit tomorrow is to start this claymation. And I was already thinking about sort of the setup, how I'm going to have everything sort of organized, some of the animations I want to try, just very basic stuff, but how I want to push forward that. And again, if I'm able to manage to create something of worth, of value, that looks good, sounds good, and is entertaining and is educational, I think at some point this can sort of take off on its own. Now, how big can it get? I don't know. Am I just going to create another job for myself online? That'd be fine as well. But at least I would be away from the visa dependency, the regional dependency, country dependency, and then that way I would be able to have a little bit more freedom, I guess you could say. So that's sort of where I'm pushing with that, especially with the animation. And I think it's especially given my own inclinations towards being a little bit more creative, creative thinking, being able to apply some of this, and then that way I want to try it out. I remember back in my childhood days playing around with claymation and stuff like that, but it was never this easy. I never had my own dedicated space to do animation. I didn't have all the tools. I mean, I'm thinking actually I did have my own dedicated space. I had the tools, but I just had no idea how to do it. And I wasn't really willing to go through all the frustration of getting it done, because I wanted to do it fast. Now I know how I can do it quicker than I would have done it before. I have the tools, I have the space, I have the time. Now I just got to do it. And so that's what it is. That's what this August animation is about, experimenting with cell by cell animations, 2D animation. I'm staying away from 3D animation because that's all computer based, and I'm sick of sitting on a computer, I'll tell you, with March Motion, May You Make Your Movie, and even trying to deal with April After Effects, which failed horribly. After Effects is just aggravating program, bloated program to deal with. I want to get away from sitting in front of the computer doing computer graphics only. I want to do something a little bit more tangible, a little bit more physical. Even though I said 2D animation, I am doing that on my iPad. So I understand there is a bit of a double standard there, but pushing through, getting it done, because if I don't, I'll have to update my resume and find another job. Well, I'd rather, if I had the choice between doing animation or claymation as a job, or as work on my own, I think it'd be kind of fun. It'd be kind of cool to do that. So that's sort of the idea I have in my mind with all of this work I'm doing. Okay, folks, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Show notes, tracks, and vids up on my website, stevensersky.com. If you have any questions or concerns, get in contact with me. If you want to know what I'm doing here with animation, I will be posting some behind the scenes stuff as well, because one of the things that seems to be a big thing to do is actually not just post the final product, but also post the behind the scenes. So hopefully I remember to do that. Okay, folks, have a great weekend. Stay cool out there, stay healthy, and we will talk again. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.